Okay, and with that, I pop into view because I was hidden and muted the whole time. I was saying things, but they weren't interesting, so it doesn't matter. And we're back to doing Alan's dialects. And I think we're on exercise 4. We completed exercise 3 last time, is that correct? Okay, that's what I thought. And let me look at my participants. It looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4 people. So I see Christian, Mustafa, Aurelio, and Moaz.
Yes.
All right, cool. So we are on number 1, and we're just gonna do it. So Christian, what you got?
Sure. Number 1, Pejaunaf je Pshorpe. They said to him, "It is the first."
Yeah. What else can we say about that? What's Pajau? What does that mean?
That's a funny little word. I forget exactly how it comes about, but anytime you try, it's like starting a direct quote from someone. If you're going to introduce someone saying something, you say "Pejafje," he said, or "Pejasje," she said, or "Pejau," they said, and then you can also add the naf or nas or now, to him, to her, to them, and then after that you have what they literally said.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. It actually.
Oh, I was just going to say in other dialects, I think are the vowels switch? It's like pajeu, or like in some other dialects, it's a little different, but yeah, it's like how it works.
The vowels on this can get kind of wonky. I think what's going on is it is like the very last remnant of this grammatical construction, and it has only survived in this one phrase. So then it's a little bit unstable just because it just has nothing else to sort of bolster it. You know, it has no support structure. It's just like off by itself, being this little weird construction. It's actually one of the last remnants of the Sejemef past in Coptic. Although it's relative, it's that which they said, Pejau. So it's the word jo, like to say, and then it's the pe, like the, and presumably there was once a relative pronoun in there, or it was the relative verb form. Maybe it was the relative Sejemef. I actually don't remember, but it is like the last remnant of this thing, which is why it has the a vowel, right? Because the Sejemefs, wherever you see them, you also see them in the preterite. If you have something like I evoke, I went, that's literally I did go. That's iri plus the first person suffix pronoun. You get that a vowel in there. Same thing here. Instead of Joe, you get ja, the Jao. And that's probably the vowel sound that marked the Sejemef. So yeah, it's this weird thing. It's literally that which they said is, he is the first. But then it's also, oh, excuse me. It's also kind of like this, like narrative feature. Like you'll notice in fiction, a lot of times you'll have cases like, we have to find Voldemort, said Harry. And like at no other time in all of English do we say said so-and-so. Like that's super duper weird, except in narratives where it's considered normal. And this is kind of like that too. Like Pajaf or Pajal is this narrative component where it's like identifying the speaker, or it's just introducing a quote, and it's a little stilted because it's just archaic. So Pajanov, Shore, Anything else that we can say about this? I don't know. Oh, so sorry. I'm yawning so much, guys, that medicine that I have to take makes me so drowsy. Shorep. What is shorep? What's the etymology of shorep?
I forget the etymology, but I know that it just means first. I forget. Without the etymology, I don't have much to add.
Yeah, it means first. I don't remember the etymology either. I'm going to look it up. I think it's something about like to excel or to proceed or something like that. It definitely as a verb can mean like to go first, where, okay, the word first is just still in there. So that's not that surprising. Oh, to be early, there we go. To lead. Now we're getting some stuff that's actually interesting because we can see the derivation. Herep, to lead. Herep, to come early or to get up early. So it really has something to do with like, it originally meant early, and then it comes to mean first, and then it becomes literally the word for first, in the sense that you don't see the phrase like mahwa or mahwai or whatever very often in Coptic, which would literally be like the literal ordinal from the word one, like the one. You would see shorep. So it becomes kind of the ordinal number for one, but it originally came from something that meant to be early. So that's kind of fun.
Because like with the ordinals, you just usually have the word meh and then add the numbers like meh's now second, meh shond third, meh sto fourth.
Exactly. But yeah, you don't have mehwa. You don't really see it. It's always shorep. So it kind of took over that position. You do have some other words that derive from one. Like imawatef, for example, means kind of like himself or like by his lonesome. So the concept of oneness gets associated with like loneliness more than it gets associated with, being ahead of other things. So that's where shorep comes in to kind of fill that breach. So that's kind of fun. It's like an interesting etymology. It's much, much more often used to mean first than it is to mean early or to lead or any of those other things that the etymological dictionary said. So it becomes its primary job. Okay, good job, Christian. Number 2, Mustafa. What does this say?
Let me Shamet and how, as I know, Shamet means first.
Nope. This one is in the Mesochemic dialect and all the vowels are wrong. You have to change the vowels to other things.
They're not wrong, they're just different.
What Christian said, they're not wrong, they're just different. They are not the Saitic vowels that you are expecting. For one thing, Christian, tell us what happened.
There was a vowel shift, and I only know this because I got into Achmimic, where they don't have that vowel shift yet, where all the A's turn to all, and that's why you have like shamt, which became shamant, which is the word for 3.
Yeah.
And then in the next word also, if you turn the A to all, what do we get?
Ho.
How becomes
appear.
Hmm?
Maybe appear or rise. How?
No, if you take the A and you make it to an all, it becomes ho, and ho means day in Saitic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
getting a little
how
notepad
becomes
so I can
sham
write.
ho.
Oh. Coptic fonts are always a nightmare. Shomt in. This is this. Shoment and Ho.
And some dialects had the vowel shift and some didn't.
Yeah. The ones that were like very close to urban areas had the vowel shift. I think that's the main factor, because I think the vowel shift was probably triggered by or shared with the Canaanite and Phoenician vowel shifts, and it probably either came from Egyptian or came to Egyptian through trade. So centers of trade like Thebes and obviously all of the places, Heliopolis, Memphis, every part that became modern Cairo, and Alexandria, all of those places show this vowel shift, and all of the other places in between don't show the vowel shift. So it looks, the evidence, the simplest answer is that it was a vowel shift that happened in more urban areas, and then because we have the same vowel shift in a neighboring place at the same time, or really shortly before, it suggests that this was a practice that was being picked up by people who were interacting with foreigners most often. So yeah, Shoment and Ho versus Shoment and How. What does it mean, Mustafa?
Shaman and how Thursdays? I don't know.
That was close. Did you say third day?
Yeah, third day.
3 days. 3 days.
3 day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. 3 days. Okay. Cool. I think that's all we can really say about that. Aurelio, do you want to grab this next one?
Sure. Pejao nafje tiu mintefts now. They said to him they said to him 5 and 2 fish.
Yeah. 5
Putting
what?
some kind of order in. I don't know. 5 orders of fries and 2 fish.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's bread, but yeah.
Probably you're right. Yeah.
It could be fries. I don't know. Yeah, what else is there to say about this? This is just in standard Saitic, so there's not that much to say about it. It is nice that the numbers are actually written out, which is not always the case.
See next example, yeah.
Yeah, in the next example, do you want to take this one too, Aurelio? Because it has some fun stuff in it.
Okay, sure. I have to remember how to read this. So that's a 500. So 500 should be 2 in She in Sateri.
2 would be 400.
That's 4. Sorry, Tiu in She in Sateri.
Yeah.
So 500. I don't know what we call them in English. Are those 500 staters or
Yep.
500 staters? I guess personal preference.
It could be personal preference. We'd probably say staters. This actually is the word stater. And I love this word because you really get, this is one of those words where it really shows us just how much the Egyptian pronunciation was different from the Greek pronunciation, right? Like if you just look at Coptic, if you look at written language anywhere, like you can go on the internet and look at the written language and be like, wow, English is a very homogeneous language. Just about everyone all over the world speaks it the same way. But then if you listen to those people speak, you would say, oh, wow, this is actually like very diverse. And there are dialects that are not even mutually intelligible, but they can write to one another in this mutually intelligible written dialect. This is one of the few places where we actually like kind of see behind the curtain and see how different, because this is the word stater. And in Coptic, it becomes satheri, which are not similar. I mean, they're similar, but I mean, we've lost a T. We've moved the stress. A lot has happened here. So the example I always use to illustrate this, it's my favorite Egyptian English example. It was like the first time I visited Egypt. I was getting a cab because I wanted to go visit the boat at the pyramid. And the cab driver was like going to offer me a deal, and he offered me the whole ride for Sikisti Bao. And I was like, I don't know what Sikisti Bao is. And it took a couple of backs and forth to figure out that Sikisti Bao is
Yep, 60 pounds.
60 pounds. Yeah.
Yep,
And it took
yep.
it took a few tries before we both figured out what the other one was saying. But there's nothing weird about this. The Egyptian Arabic naturally puts the stress on the penult, not the anti-penult, whereas 60, you know, the stress is on the first I. And also Egyptian Arabic forbids consonant clusters like this. So kisati is like, this is basically just impossible. You cannot have KSKT as a consonant cluster in Egyptian Arabic. You can barely have it in English. Even native English speakers tend to elide some of the consonants in there because it's just too many consonants in too small an area to be easily pronounced. 60.
If the word like one text message, one text, two texts.
Texts. The worst one, oh my gosh, the worst one has got to be like 5/6. 5/6.
Or fifth.
Fifth. Literally, no one can say that. We never actually say it the way it's written. I don't think any native English speaker actually pronounces all the letters that are written there because it's virtually impossible. But then when you take this word that's almost impossible even for native speakers to pronounce correctly, and then you hand it to someone who's speaking it as a second language, you're going to get really divergent results, but predictably divergent results. And that's the same thing we have here. So stater, there's too much consonant cluster for one thing. You really want to put an epenthetic vowel here, at least. You want to move the stress. Oh, especially it has an ending, of course, because it's a Greek word. I don't know what the ending is, but stateris or whatever, who cares? It has some kind of vowel here. So you really want to move the stress here. You don't like this consonant cluster here. And then because this T is now before a stressed vowel, it becomes theta, and then stateri. This T eventually just gets kind of swallowed, and then you get that. So it works. Like, it makes sense. It's like the Sikisti example, where it's like once you break it all apart, it actually makes perfect sense that is how that person would pronounce that word, given all the information that they've been provided with, and the rules of pronunciation that they're operating from, and all those kind of things. But at first, it looks kind of bewildering. So yeah, this is such a cool word because it really is. I know of 5 or 6 examples like this where we actually get to kind of peek behind the curtain and see how differently native Coptic speakers were pronouncing these Greek words in their own language. And the answer is profoundly differently. They did not actually sound the same. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And you said Tiu and She. I'm gonna go, I think it's in this chapter. These stupid numbers. So plus 500 points to Aurelio for getting this correct. I would not have gotten it correct, honestly.
I tried to work it out this way by basically thinking, so I is 10, R is 100, I mean, rho is 100, and then basically, so IRA becomes 10, 100, and 1000, and then you just have to work forward and backward.
Nice, that's a good system. Yeah, this is good. This actually, I'm gonna use this forever now to explain it to students, because that is actually super useful. Once you have these kind of milestones, you can kind
Like
of do it.
anchors, yeah. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's nuts to remember. If you start counting from A, it trips you up.
Yeah. Oh, you'll definitely get tripped up that, especially because of stigma. Like stigma breaks the whole thing because you just have this like wrench in the works right here at 6 and zeta is 7. For some reason, some of them like really make good sense to me, like theta being 9. I don't think I'll ever get that one wrong. I don't know why, but for some reason, like theta is a 9. That's just the way it is. It's the way the Lord meant for it to be somehow. I don't know. It just works for me. Other ones like lambda being 30 and mu being 40, it's so infuriating because the word for 30 is mob. It begins with an M. It's just so frustrating to me that how close we were for there being some sort of sense to this. The word for 40 incidentally is meh. So you can say it's like meh and remember it that way. And I do try. But yeah, so here's all the numbers. I've had them on the screen long enough that you can pause your YouTube video if you're watching from home and write them all down and try to learn them. This one is on your Coptic keyboard at the number 6, I believe, or it should be. And yeah, so that's how those are. Aira is definitely the most useful thing that came out of that. So thank you, Aurelio, for the Aira mnemonic. I'm going to use that forever. But this next one I think is not too bad because you see it quite a bit. I'm going to give this to Moaz. Moaz, do you want to do this?
Sure. So the first number is 12. So should I say it Mets now or Metsnos?
So yeah, good question. So because this is Bohairic, Bohairic actually doesn't do the thing where it like changes the numbers when they are in groups. So if this were Saitic, it would be Mentsnos. I need my little notepad again. So yeah, Saitic example would be this, which is obviously, wait, obviously approximately the words mate plus the word snow, right? But not exactly. We've got, this is an O instead of an A. We've got an S on the end for whatever reason. I don't even know why that's there. So it's wonky. It's just how it is. Bohairic doesn't do that at all. So the way I would say this in Bohairic is I would just say mate snow, or probably with theta, but whatever. However anyone says it, I think is fine. Mate snow. This
All right.
in this, yeah.
No, go ahead.
This matters a lot more once we get to something super weird. Trying to think of an example of where it gets really weird. So, okay, so the word for 20 is Joet. And then the word for 4 is toe. In Saitic, this would be this, 24. In Bohairic, very conveniently, it would be this, 24. So in Saitic, it actually becomes, you can see where the divide is here. This becomes abbreviated when it's preceding a word and a number in the ones place, and then the number in the ones place actually the stress moves, so it becomes a different word. It has the same consonantal structure, but the pronunciation is really quite different. So jotto becomes jutofte in Saitic, and thankfully in Bohairic it just stays jotto. It's quite likely that there was a little bit of change in the pronunciation in Bohairic as well, but it's just never recorded. So so they kind of pretend that amount of craziness doesn't happen.
Sounds a lot like how a lot of modern languages do that too, where you have like 15 or 14. 15 is like 5 and 10, but then it sounds, changes weird. Or like in French, you have douze, that means 12. I don't know where it comes from, but
Yeah,
do, I don't know.
it's like,
Names.
yeah, it's like they chose two different, I mean, English is like this too. It's like they chose two different ways of marking the number after the tens place. Because we have like 11 and 12, which are even worse. I think in German, they're slightly better because because they look, well, no, they still look quite different.
Yeah.
Same as, sorry.
Yeah, they're bad.
11 and
Bad.
12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supposedly
they're
one left, two left, but I'm not sure if that's a popular, like a folk etymology, or if that's real.
Wait,
They're
one
very good at that, yeah.
One left and
two left, two left, supposedly. Like, if you count to 10, and then you have 1 and 2 left over. So as a supposed origin of eins left 11 and 2 left 12, but I don't know. It sounds almost sounds too cute to be true.
I
I'll
know
look
it's
into it.
it's too nice. It's too nice to be this world.
Well, also
That
left
happened.
is even German. What would it be in German? 11, 10, 1 übrig?
Basically something like that. Yeah, that's the idea. And then you switch with 13. And I mean,
No, that's what happened in like the Care Bear universe, and then there's just like a little point where like our pocket universe bumps into theirs, and we got those two numbers from this lovely universe where everything is nice and pleasant. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Numbers are weird, but the nice thing about this is that if we're talking about Bohairic, because they wrote them that way, that gives us as modern speakers carte blanche to just read them literally without overthinking it like we have to with Saitic. So yeah.
So Mitznau and Rumpi, 12 years.
12 years. That's it. Okay. So it looks like we're going back around to Christian. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3. We'll try to get towards the end of this lesson today. And I'll still probably do the thing where I end this one a few minutes early, like 5 minutes early or whatever, just so we're not like crammed up against the next one. But yeah, we can do some more. Christian, do you want to do number 6?
I can try. I honestly am not sure what I'm looking at here, but it's that wacky little, is it mesochemic or whatever? Mesochemic?
Yeah. Mesochemic
She,
is oxyrenkite.
yeah, another very easy word for it.
Yeah.
She Esau. I'm guessing Esau looks like the word for sheep.
It is.
Like Esau.
It's also here.
Oh. Well, there we have it.
Let's just look at the one. I'm just gonna look at them.
And I
I
think
don't remember what they are either.
And I think she looks like 100 shit.
It's not though. It's not that nice. Row is 100.
Oh no, I meant like I thought it was spelled out like she.
Oh, yeah,
is
it
it not just
totally is.
shoe for 100?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, I was thinking they were going to be numerals, and I was like, man, I have no idea what those numerals are. But yeah, you're exactly right. That's what it
Well,
is.
it doesn't have, yeah, it doesn't have the superlinear, so I just figured she 100. So 100 sheep.
Yeah, it wasn't even hard at all. Okay.
It's a weird vowel shift from u to or u to.
That I was conveniently not going to say anything about that because I had no fucking clue how that could happen.
Gotcha.
My guess, and like now we're getting into some really hairy territory, but so the words for the 100 words are she is 100 and shei with an eta is 200. And once you get an eta there, that means you have a very good chance of having had an u etymologically as the stressed vowel in the word in the past. So I'm guessing that the word,
sheep?
well, it's probably not 200 sheep, but just the presence of the Saitic word shei for 200 tells us that etymologically that was probably an u. So it was probably shu 100 and shui is the dual of 100, so 200. And then, so this is because there hasn't been the same amount of vowel shift happening in this dialect, this is probably the original like late Egyptian pronunciation of the word 100. Shu.
That's cool. But also,
Hasn't become an
Maybe
Ada yet.
maybe it's much more about deltaic Coptic dialects.
oh, from the river delta north.
Yeah. hmm
Where you
I
get
think
the
And and the dual comes from maybe Middle Egyptian we.
yeah, it definitely does. It's that dual. So what do I have? Oh, I have Coptic in 20 lessons pulled up. Hey, the numbers are probably right here. Hell yeah, that's lucky. Let's see if there's the hundreds in here. If there's the hundreds, we'll be able to see it right away. It's actually pretty obvious. Once you see them laid out, how am I just missing it? It's got to be right here. 90, we stopped just short of 100. It's probably in the next chapter. I'll go check there. But real quick, I'll show you one thing. 10 and 20. This is Meju and Mejuti. So you can actually derive, so it's like 10 and then the dual of 10.
Yeah.
Mejuti is 20. So that's how
Oh.
you get those.
The M falls off. Okay.
Yeah. And let me see if the next exercise has the hundreds, because then, what is this? Why have I highlighted this?
I thought I saw it just below the numbers they were showing, like the
Yeah.
next paragraph down. It's just really small.
It's probably just teeny tiny and I'm trying to go too
Yep.
fast.
He didn't make a table out of them. He just
There it is.
yeah, right
There you
there.
go.
There they are. There they are. Look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shade.
Shaped. There we go.
Shade.
I thought it was Shay, but whatever the case, this is the dual of this. So I guess it would be Shet and then Shetty, like the feminine dual. I just remembered it wrong, but I remembered the abstract principle and forgot the actual like Coptic realization, but it still works. So like Shet would be 100 in Middle Egyptian, and then Sheti with the dual ending would be 200. And then it's very likely that the vowel that was in there was an U vowel, because that's the best explanation for how we get this Ada in Coptic, is for there to have been a stressed U vowel in open syllable in the earlier stages of Egyptian. There's actually a few different ways of getting Ada, but I'm kind of using like a Bayes law type of reasoning here, where like the it's so likely for a stressed U in open syllable to become Ada in Coptic that if we find an Ada in Coptic, it's a pretty reasonably good guess to say, oh, we probably had an U stressed in open syllable, because the other ways are much more complicated and sort of scattered and less reliable.
Just notice some messiness. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Just before we move off that page, I noticed something there. The 500 here being written with a phi and superlinear stroke instead of the Greek ph. So that's interesting. Like if you go, yep.
Yeah,
It's
why is it
not-
like that? That's not what we have in the other one.
Yeah, Alan has the phi there, not the phi.
The phi, not the phi.
That's
The thing,
that's
I would guess that
interesting.
it could be a typo, except that the phi is being used for 90 very clearly, and it seems happy there.
Well, maybe. I mean, there is a cough missing, right? If you go from Hebrew, so that's probably the 90. So I'm
Yeah,
guessing the phi is chosen for graphic similarity.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So I guess it can be used twice, but it's interesting. I mean, just when you go by the Allen table, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, and that seems like, I mean, gosh, talk about a way to like get yourself fired. Have one symbol that means two radically different numbers.
You mean like giving the customer 90,000 versus 500,000? Yep.
Yes.
That's
Like
a
that.
bad day on the job.
Was it Citibank or whatever that like paid off a loan for like $500 billion?
There was something there, yeah.
And they're like, you can't no, you can't get it back because like you owed them this money. You just didn't intend to pay it early, but you did. So now it's their money. And it's like, oh man, that's a bummer. That's a lot of money. Yeah, I don't know. I think these are, you know what? So we're about at the time that we would stop to keep this class kind of light and breezy. And so I think that this is our homework assignment. Determine the numerals in Coptic. Determine the Coptic numerals. So there are going to be, obviously we have contradictory evidence here. We have Leighton's book saying one thing, we have Alan's book saying another. You have other sources of books, like in the syllabus for the class, you have, I think Till is in there, right? I put Till. Let me just go check and make sure it should be around here somewhere. Oh no, Stern. Oh man, what a, oof, it just starts off sounding scary. I bet there's some numbers in here. I don't know, but I bet there are. So yeah, let's try to come up with the answer. And we'll do that first thing next time. Coptic numbers. Coptic numerals. What do you think?
I don't
Okay.
quite understand. Don't we already have them?
Well, we're not confident that we have
Okay.
them. We're going to, everyone establish your own system for the Coptic numerals, and we're going to compare them and try to come up with the correct answer because we have contradictory information right now.
Yeah.
And if it turns out Alan is wrong, we can all send him an email and tell him that he's wrong. Because if there's one thing that dude loves, it is students arguing with him about things and him turning out to be wrong. Like he, like, to his eternal credit, he is so good at being wrong and like admitting that he was wrong and being super excited that a student figured out that he was wrong. So yeah. So if that happens, that would be kind of fun. So let's see what we get. All right. And until then, y'all have a great week.
You do.
See you.
Have a good one.
See
Bye,
you.
Bye.
everyone.